So now we are in Enscape, and since 1.1, I think, Inkscape version 1.1, there's a way to write in LaTeX directly from Inkscape without like having to install anything. Uh, like you need to have like you need to have like LaTeX on your system, but you do not need to add like any extension. And this one is here. You need to go to extension, go to text, and you need to go to a formula. If you're using LaTeX, you need to go to this one, PDF LaTeX. It will basically use this to compile the equation, or if you are using type ST and you are familiar with it, and you have obviously in your system, you can write the formula using it. And if we type this, what we can do is it will be basically a placeholder with like a nice equation inside it. And as you can see, that it's writing the clear LaTeX. And what, for example, we can change it. But one of the main issue that I have with this is if I want to change this equation, let's say I want to change the summation, one like to 100, yeah, it will not change this. It will just create another one, and that's not like the things that I want to. If I want to many change an equation, I want to click on it. So for example, if I click on it, restart the extension, I just want like to like, let's say I want to, let's say to 1000 now. Yeah, I want this one to be changed, not recreate another one. So that's the main issue that I have with like this way of writing like that. But it's pretty fine if like you are just need it. It's a simple equation and you are not like working with like a lot of equation and there is some update. But usually you have to update equation. So if you don't want to like install things and keep it simple, that's a great way. There's also advanced settings when you can add like more packages inside the type of like basically the um, what are the libraries that you are using for compiling the file and creating these nice equations. And you can also change the font size. So for example, if I want to make this very big, let's say typically for posters, yeah, as you can see, you have like your big equation here. Okay, so that's the current way. Like since if you have LaTeX like a new version after like version 0.1, you should be able to do this directly from Enscape. But now I'll be showing you like a way to do this in a much better way with an extension called TexText. So I will be showing you how to install it and how to use it. And before installing it, you need to have like both Python and LaTeX in your system. And I made two videos on how to install LaTeX and also how to install Python through Conda. So if you do not have like either Python or LaTeX in your system, please have a look at those videos. So now let's go to the browser and install this extension. So it's called TexText. I will put the link inside the description of the video. And basically, you need like to read it like depending on your Inkscape version and your OS. For Linux, it's quite simple. Also for Windows, for macOS, it should also be like quite similar to Linux. But sorry guys, I like the fruit, but not into Apple. But yeah, in this video I will show like for Linux, but for Windows there is like it's much easier if you have LaTeX in your system. You just like go to the release page that we will also need to go for Linux and just go into the installer and you will be pretty much like set up. So now what we need to do is we need to go to the release page, and by clicking here, already have like the release page opened. So yeah, that's the GitHub of the TexText, sorry. And you go to release, usually you want to install the last version, and you want to install the version with the your OS in it, basically Linux. For myself, kind of like Windows and Mac OS. Okay, so let's install it now. To install some zip file now. And what we want to do now is basically go and check if this was correctly installed. This is correctly installed. What we want to do is unzip this. So yeah, it was unzipped 2 times. So now when I am the unzip file directory is like this one. When I go inside, I have like basically this file. And what you need to do is basically now go to this directory and open a terminal inside this directory. And basically run Python 3 followed by setup. And this will basically see if there is all the requirements in your system to run the actual extension, and it will also copy uh, this directory inside the directory of the extension inside Inkscape. So let's type Python 3 followed by setup, and it will like basically like give you like your Python path, check if like which LaTeX you have, and also check like which like backend for the UI you are running, if you're like using GTK or Tekinter basically. And it will like have like some tag with success if the extension was successfully installed inside your system. And what we can do now is basically go to uh, the directory of the extension of Inkscape, and you will see that this is present now. So what we can do is, yeah, we can go to home, yeah, go to config. So go to config, we go to Enscape, and inside extension, now we should have like TexText. Yeah, okay, that's basically, we're basically down now for the installation. And now if we come back to the to Inkscape, if we look at like the extension, there is no text tab, but what we need to do is we need to like relaunch a new Inkscape. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna uh, just like open a new one, and this will open a new one. And now I opened a new one, and in this new window, let's go to extension. So let me close everything and let me reopen. Yeah. So yeah, now I closed. So you need to close the only restarting the Inkscape with like a current session is not working. So you need to close everything and then we restart like the full Inkscape. And now if we go to like text and we go to text, we have this nice UI where you can type your equation. And basically what you need to do to type your equation is like have the dollar sign and type any equation that you want. So for example, let's try to type the equation that was like rendered by default here. Let's copy it and let's like so the copy didn't work, so let's go again. Should be good to go now. Let's make sure copy, and now it's like, yeah, now still not. Okay, I guess I will have to write my own equation by hand. So yeah, like let's for example have like some fraction of like uh, with like some notations. Yeah, so as you can see, there is like a nice preview button here with the what will be rendered as the equation inside the Inkscape. And if we type save, what we can do is we're able to save, and this will be saved inside the UI. And now we can basically like resize it as much as we want and as bigger as we wish. And what one interesting thing about this is like I made a copy of this now, and if I want to change this and any object on any copy of this, I can. So let's go to extension tag, and you will see that this is directly the equation that we add. And if I want to add a +1, this one will be updated directly without having to change. Obviously, the subscript is not like in the correct place, but you need you see the what I mean by like updating the thing. It's very convenient. And there is also like things that you can do directly with it. So as we mentioned earlier, we can like basically change the scaling factor like with the font. So this is basically like the it's equivalent to the font size. So if you want to make like much smaller, let's say 8, this will be resized. And one other thing that is pretty interesting is that we can also like change the color. And everything that you can do in Inkscape, since this object is SVG, you can also do it like inside it. So if you want to change the color, so we red, like green, orange, everything that you want, you can do it. So that's very, very interesting. And the last thing is that I wanted to mention is inside this, there's like default packages that you want to add. So it's a file inside the extension where there is like all the packages that is used to render the equation. So if you want to change the packages and have like another package for rendering the equation in a different way, you need to change this file basically. And there's like other settings, but those are not like uh, very important if like you're just wanting to right? It's basically for user experience. If you want to align content the line here and having like some highlights inside the equation, but now it's pretty much what we can do. There's like two things that I want to add now is there is also a nice way, like if for example I have like issues with like my equation. So for example, like I know that this is not the correct way. So there is a typo now, and if I do preview, it will give me an error, and with like uh, the actual detail of what the LaTeX said about the error. So that's actually nice to like directly have like the nice output, the log to say that there is an error. And you also need to always add the two dollar signs, so either way it will not work, and it would just warn you and say you need to insert those dollar sign. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to mention is the following: is the fact that, for example, now everything is grouped. If I ungroup everything in, for example, I want to have like this here, I want to have like this here, change this, yeah. And now if I want to change the equation and go to extend the extension, there will be nothing, because once you ungroup everything, there is no way to go back to the actual state of the equation. So if now we want to write like another equation, preview and save, it will basically save another equation. So yeah, so you need to make sure that when you like write your equation, you do not ungroup them if you want to work with them later on and change them. So that's it with the extension, and I hope you enjoy this. As I mentioned, I made also two videos, like to how to like use LaTeX and how to install LaTeX inside your uh, working environment, and how to use like Python with Anaconda. So check those videos if you want to start with both Python and LaTeX. See you in another video, guys. Bye bye.